Coming up, we'll tell you who's responsible for the Nuggets choke job. We'll play some blame pie, and I'll tell you the secret player that had more to do with it than you might think. This is Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being with us Monday through Friday, being an everydayer and making us your first listen. We appreciate each of you being a part of our community, and those of you that have chosen to become members of our Everydayers Club. Discord was bumping tonight, had a great time in there right up until the end. Put the scouting report in there, hashtag in the scouting report, Jalen Tyson. You might want to get a hand up on that dude. Hey, Jared Allen's probably going to catch some lobs, all that and more. Make sure to sign up for the Everydayers Club at lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. My name's Matt Moore. I've been covering the Denver Nuggets as a credentialed reporter for 14 seasons. I'm joined by Ryan Blackburn, who's been covering them for about 3/4 as many. You can find my work at the Denver Dig, at Hardwood Paroxysm, Fansided, and every day on Locked On NBA Daily as well. Ryan, you can catch a Pickaxe and Roll, the podcast, as well as at Mile High Sports, where he writes all sorts of great stuff, as well as he writes stuff in the Everydayers Club, posting not only his rotation charts, but all sorts of great analysis as well. On today's show, we're going to break down the loss of the Cleveland Cavaliers as the Nuggets absolutely choke once again. We're going to talk about clutch time and what can we really take away from this? What are the problems that go beyond this game? What does this really mean? We're going to play some blame pie, which is a concept I completely stole off of Locked On Heat. We're going to try and figure out who's actually to blame for this one. It was a tough, bad loss. Even with the injuries, this one was winnable. Nuggets should have gotten the win. We're going to tell you that. Plus, we're going to look ahead, and I'm going to tell you why time is up for the Denver Nuggets. All that and more on tonight's show. Ryan Blackburn.
He's her.
I had a great night at the arena. Great game. I also thought it was a great game. It was amazing. 3.5 quarters of great basketball from the Nuggets. Got some shooting luck, but I think overall they played great. You and I were like, this stagger unit's really working with Joker. And it really did. Like, it worked. And then some stuff happened at the end because of his minutes restriction. But also, just got to note this. They got the lead when Joker comes back in. They have the lead when Joker comes back in. I went back and rewatched the last 5 minutes of it. I got notes all throughout it. I'm going to ask you this right now. Let's deal with the micro, and then we'll deal with the macro. On the micro level, what was responsible for the loss in clutch time for the Denver Nuggets tonight?
The Jokic turnover. Like, it's straight up the Jokic turnover, put them in a really tough position. They wanted to run clock in that situation. And ultimately, like, what Jokic did in the previous possession was awesome. Like, it was great. Like, he had a really nice running hook on Jared Allen. And I thought that there was zero reason why he couldn't have gone back to that in the next possession. They did go back to it in the next possession, and Jokic catches the ball on the second catch, a really great repost and post entry by Jokic and by Murray. He turns baseline, tries to fake that a little bit. He's still got about 7 seconds on the shot clock, and then takes a little bit of time, picks up his dribble, clearly trying to survey, turns, and James Harden is right there on the double because he has turned baseline and put himself into a blind situation. And we talked to him after the game. He said that that was a shot attempt. He said that he was going to shoot in that situation, that it was not a pass. So take that for what you will. I'm not sure how much I guess you have to believe him because that's what he said, but like, it didn't look like it based off of the way that things went. And I just thought that he put himself into a really bad position where if you go middle in that situation, you open yourself up and you open up the entire floor. I did not think it was good. And if Jared Allen, who was shading, trying to force him baseline, you just turn and you hit the turnaround jumper. That's the simple formula there. And he, for whatever reason, did not go to that.
Yeah, you and I were kind of debating this after the game. A couple things there. First, you had said that you thought he was trying to reach Cam. He was definitely not. I think it was a pass. I think he's lying. Yeah. I think he was trying to hit Tim. I think that above the break pass is like, if you look at where his arm goes, that's where it goes. Yeah. If he was trying to shoot, he was not trying to shoot. He was trying to draw a foul, which I've made my thoughts very clear on this. He has come back from injury. He doesn't feel good. I am sympathetic to that. That dude has tried in the Thunder game, the Pistons game, the Knicks game, the Bulls game, and not really the Bulls game. And this one gets really caught up in trying to draw fouls right now. And I get that it's like a shortcut to save his energy and with where he's at from a conditioning standpoint. I'm empathetic to it. It is not working, and it is getting the Nuggets off of how their offense needs to function.
They're straight up losing games because he's trying to draw fouls.
Now, look, I think that you're right. It's 117, 114, 103 remaining when they get that stop, and that should be ball game, right? I totally agree. That should be ball game right there. They got the miss, they got the rebound. Cam does a really good job getting that rebound, and they're in position to win that game. To take it broader, right? To go back from the beginning, a couple of things that I noticed in this clutch time are there are mistakes here that happen on a number of levels, including one. I'll tell you the guy that I really do think I understand trusting your veterans. No one understands that more than me. And I understand that they are missing a large wing and their power forward.
Yeah.
I will tell you unequivocally, they win this game if Aaron Gordon plays. And the reason I know that, like, not the whole game, forget that. If Aaron, like, let's say you just brought Aaron out of cryogenic freezing and just deployed him in the last 5 minutes, they win this game because Jamal, I thought, over-dribbled a lot in two-man game. And he's got a possession where Jokic has his guy sealed and CB is wide open in the corner. And Jamal, he does the bounce pass to Bruce in the dunker. And Bruce misses the floater, gets it blocked. AG dunked.
Horrible shot, by the way. Bruce barely drew iron on that shot.
I think it was blocked, actually. AG dunks it. Like, AG's going to make that shot. Like, he's going to power up and make that shot, okay?
Yeah.
Bruce, and then let's go to the other end because people are rightly calling out the defense because I think it's worth talking about this. Their problems defensively came from a number of issues. There was a sequence where they drop back into a zone. Jamal comes up into a 3-2, and that basically leaves this wide open array for Jarrett Allen to slice right down the middle of.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't make the right X out on the Jalen Tyson 3. That's really where things got tight with 5 minutes to go. JV was still in the game on there. What happens is Christian is helping on James Harden. Donovan releases to the other side because he knows if he does that, Jamal Murray is going to get stuck having to guard 2 shooters. JV has to stay home because Jarrett Allen's right there for the lob.
Yeah.
Him lets Harden get past him, doesn't X out, and now Jalen Tyson is open at the top of the key. It was also, by the way, a sick pass from Harden where Harden sold the corner. He was like, I am definitely passing to Donovan Mitchell. This is me passing to Donovan Mitchell. Look how much I'm going to pass to Donovan Mitchell. I passed to Jalen Tyson. So it was a really sick play by Harden.
Yeah.
In transition, they just didn't get back. Like, the lob that they gave up to Jarrett Allen in transition was ungodly. It's an empty side transition play. CB, who I've talked about this, is not the best guy at chasing over screens. He comes way too wide on a pin down, trying to catch up with Donovan. Well, guess what? It's transition. This is empty side. So now Joker's in space.
It's barbecue chicken.
Way too high. And it's barbecue chicken. It's a dunk.
Yeah.
They let the Cavs, because of their offensive decision making, the Cavs got downhill and the Nuggets were not like, okay, we're sprinting back and getting set. Like, they were consistently one step out. And I thought the Cavaliers' execution in this game was really good, but all of these things kind of wound up together. I don't mind. I asked EA about closing with Tim over Julian, who had played really great tonight. I will just say, Julian right now, because of his youth, has a little bit more of an athletic presence. And that should tell you that the Nuggets are severely without athletic presence right now, because I'm talking about Julian Strother.
Yeah.
But you're not going to throw Zeke out there. It's the last 5 minutes. You can't do it, right? I get it. Like, fine. I do think you probably should have gone a little bit bigger here. Julian had a great night, which we'll talk about later. I just think that having the 2 small guards, Jamal and Bruce, was the combination, I think, that really hurt them in this game.
Matching up with the Cavs because they were also playing small. Obviously, what Denver was trying to do in a lot of those situations was switch everything 1 through 4 and then have Jokic catch and have him at times step up on threes, but most of the time, like, stick with Jarrett Allen and do those things. There was a lot of talk about the rotation. I'm sure that we'll get into that in later segments, but I just think that Denver had this controlled. And if they undergo better process on the offensive end, then this doesn't become as much of an issue. We knew going into this game, Matt, that they were going to struggle defensively. Like this was going to be a thing. So you have to win with offense. And they did not win with offense tonight. They actually faltered in a lot of these situations. I thought the decision-making by the key stars was pretty bad down the stretch. And when they simplified the process, it was a little bit better. But they tried to do things too complicated. They tried to make the right play too much. And there was overpassing and there was overcomplication. And it ends up with a Bruce Brown floater in the short corner, or Jokic trying to force a pass or take a shot in his estimation. I just don't think that Denver brought the right clutch gene to this game once again. And so much of that is that their execution just has not been good, rightly or wrongly, with Jokic out there in these games this season. Like they're 5-10 in games that Jokic has played in the clutch. I don't know how to parse that. That is a crazy stat and something that I think merits at least wonder why it is happening for a team that has been so great in the clutch his entire career.
We will talk about that coming up, as well as I want to give some of my thoughts on that Jokic play at the end offensively as well. We will also get into some of the rotation changes and what that means and continue breaking down this game. I will lead you into break with this. The Denver Nuggets have had a positive clutch record every season until this one. And I will ask you, what changed? We'll talk about that coming up on Locked On Nuggets. Finding a doctor you actually like can feel like discovering a diamond in the rough. Sure, you want someone who's in network nearby and has availability, but you also want a doctor who listens and makes you feel more comfortable and explains things clearly. That kind of doctor exists, and finding them is easy with ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality, in-network doctors so you can find someone you love without all the hassle. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states, covering over 200 specialties from primary care and dentistry to dermatology and eye care. I will admit it. I put off doctor appointments for longer than I should. Between life, work, and everything else, it's easy to delay. But ZocDoc makes the process simple. You can search by specialty or symptoms and actually build a care team that works for you. You can see real-time availability and book instantly. No phone calls, no waiting on hold. This is a big deal to me, particularly with my family. There have been problems with various providers not listening when the people in my family have had issues that they're trying to relay. And finding someone that you feel comfortable with, that you can express how you feel and what's going on, is really important. You need to be comfortable with your provider, and ZocDoc's great about providing you with an opportunity to find the right fit for you. Whether you want to go in person or do a video visit, ZocDoc makes it easy either way. Stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message. We're also brought to you today by Wayfair. The new year's here, and it's a perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and feels. That's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start the year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need for a full home refresh all in one place. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work-from-home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and budget. Need a pillow to scream into after the Nuggets blow another lead in the fourth? Well, Wayfair's got you covered. Want to build a crash room so you can throw around affordable yet tasteful furniture to express your rage? Wayfair has you covered. And if you're looking for somewhere comfy to just try and chill out, read a book, and get away from the pain of Nikola Jokic not getting back into the game on time, Wayfair has you covered. Get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now and shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. Make sure to join the Everydayers Club at LockedOnNuggets.supercast.com. And you can join the Mile High Maniacs in our Locked On Nuggets Discord. You'll get text updates from us. You'll get rumors from us. You'll get original content from us. Lots of stuff. And we're constantly thinking of new ways. We're going to have more stuff for you in the coming weeks, especially into the playoffs. Okay.
The scouting reports, by the way, are excellent. It's some of your best work, and you do a lot of great job with it, and a lot of great insights that Nuggets fans aren't going to get anywhere else.
Well, thanks. I don't have a lot of time to do stuff like that anymore, but it's like really what kind of the best stuff that it's the stuff I'm honestly best at is like matchup stuff. And if you just want to know things like, hey, you're going to want to shade him left so that you can be screaming at the television, shade him left, shade him, Bruce, get on the, no. So you can see exactly what the Nuggets need. Yeah, you need to see exactly what the Nuggets need to not be doing consistently during the games. On that play where Joker takes that shot, on that final one, that really was the not the nail, right? But it was like a painful one. I will say this: what he was trying to do was he's so used to hitting his defender with that left fake and then spinning baseline. And if he spins baseline, the help side weak defender Sam Merrill's got to come over, and then he's got to kick to the corner, and that's a wide open corner three. The problem was Jared Allen, to his never-ending credit, did not get nudged off of his spot and was right in position. Like he just stoned him when he went to spin baseline. And
this is why I think he should have gone to a turnaround fadeaway. I know that's like
I'm really struggling with this, buddy, to be like the best option is the song.
No, like here's the thing. Like in clutch time, you always want to simplify the process. You always want to try to understand, okay, if this happens, then this. If this happens, then this. And for Joker, if Jared Allen is trying to defend him on the high side and trying to prevent him from going middle, like he can see that. He absolutely can see that, especially on the repost. And so he got such great position that you just turn around and you try to like hit a little jumper, and at least getting a shot up in that situation is so much better. And like, obviously he's not trying to turn the ball over, but it just, like that's a frustrating one. And these clutch problems that they have happened, it's happened over and over again.
So,
like it's
they lost by 2. So the answer, so this is not surprising. I will tell you, there are games where you can lose tight and I'll be like, you were lucky to lose that close. Even with the fact that like the Nuggets kind of picked up the Nuggets shot okay 33% from 3-point percentage tonight. So like you can't really be like, well, is all shooting luck, bad shooting luck for the Cavs?
No.
They were 15 and 45. Nuggets were 13 and 40. Again, they took 2 more threes.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to point is, if you had just done a little bit better on the 3-point job with Jalen Tyson, if you had not gotten outscored in the paint by 10, if you had literally 1 fewer turnover because you had 13 and they had 12. Joker had 7 turnovers tonight. This team has made its living on not turning the ball over, and that's one of the reasons they've been the best offense in the league. Got to get back to that. Now, all of these things with Joker, Ryan, I look at this and I go like, this is the injury. Like I just do. And you can say like, you're making excuses. No, because he played and he failed. That's it. Like Nikola Jokic and Nikola Jokic played, Nikola Jokic failed. They lost a game. He was -2. He was still 6 of 11 because God knows there's no way to make this man under 50% almost. Like he's almost never under 50%.
Yeah.
But like these little details that we're like, he doesn't do this usually. If you're like, why is this happening? It's not like he just suddenly sucks. That's probably the injury. Now, that doesn't excuse it because they got to execute better because Jamal's gassed too. And he's like Benjamin Buttoning, where he's going back to struggling more as the season progresses.
Do you blame him for committing a foul against Donovan Mitchell with 0.9?
Oh, that one's tough. So I went back and watched it. I just don't know what the intent was.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what he was trying to do. I really don't. Like I don't know what the plan was there. Where it's like
I would need to rewatch it because I haven't rewatched it. To me, it seems like he's trying to cut off a drive, but
yeah, he's trying to like make a steal, and I'm just like, you can't gamble there.
Yeah,
just can't.
I want jump straight up, buddy.
Okay, we talked about these clutch things.
Yeah,
and I will preface this by saying I think David Adelman has been an upgrade over the last 2 years of Michael Malone. I think he's reinvigorated the offense, the defense. I've appreciated his approach. I think the team is connected with him. The team is really good. David Adelman's been awesome.
Has he reinvigorated the defense?
Yes, because they're at least different, Ryan. Like their schemes and process are different. And again, you and I are going to disagree on this because I believe that the stuff that was there prior to the injuries was real. And you were a little bit more uncertain on that, right?
I've always been.
Yeah, Ryan's been very much like, I don't buy into the stuff that when they were fully healthy. I've adjusted for 3-point luck, and it still says the Nuggets are really good defensively when they have those guys. Basically, and here's you want a great stat?
Sure.
The over, I think I gave this one out the other night or
Yeah.
last night. Yeah, the over is 20. It's 21 now. 21-4 when AG doesn't play and Jokic does.
Yeah,
you can't have a functional defense without AG next to Jokic. You just can't. I'm sorry. And you could be like, it's not Jokic's fault. I thought Jokic gave great defensive effort tonight for actually the entire game.
Honestly, yeah, I thought he was pretty solid defensively. There's some things like you have to match up with James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen. You're going to give up some open shots on occasion, but like for the most part, I thought he was great cutting off different driving lanes, playing cat and mouse with Harden, and I thought contested reasonably well against Jared Allen for a lot of this. So that wasn't it. Like again, it's just the margins. It's they have been worse on the margins, especially of late. And like these things matter when you're trying to come up with, okay, how are you going to be a top 3 seed? How are you going to be a top 2 seed? How are you going to like separate from the pack? And they just keep getting dragged back in. And this is the reason why.
Snowwolf says Watson's a good defender too. He is, especially going over screens, but I will say the defense with Peyton and Nikola on the floor has not been good this year. There are things you can be a good individual people. This is a misconception in my opinion. People think that if you're a good individual defender, the defense will be better with you. That's not true, because if you're a good individual defender, but you don't make things better systemically, it just means that your little portion will be fine and the rest fails.
It's the Avery Bradley special.
It's the Avery Bradley special. That's a great point. Let's do blame pie. Okay. How much of the clutch problems in this game and beyond this season do you attribute to coaching, the coaching change?
If we're doing specific clutch problems, blame pie, I will say that it has to be at least 33%.
Okay.
So I would go up. I'll go.
I would go up to 40. I just think that this is a matter of inexperience that I'm willing to go ahead and give David. David has not, he just has not head coached that many NBA games.
Yeah.
His first time head coaching was last year.
With 3 games left to go.
Yeah. He has not had the experience to go through these processes. So I'm inherently skeptical of clutch stuff anyway, which we'll get to in a second. How much of it? All right. Give me something else that you put on this. I assume you're going to do thirds.
Yeah, I'm going to do. No, I'll do. I guess I broke this up in a really weird way as a result of that. We'll go down to. I'm actually going to go 35% for Adelman to make it a more round number, and we'll go 35% for Nikola Jokic. Nobody wants to blame Nikola, man. Nobody, he's the best player in the world. He is so clearly operating at a higher level than I could ever conceive basketball being played. But what I'm watching on a consistent basis is somebody who is thinking too much about the wrong things a lot of the time. And that is somebody who is trying to get these calls, who's trying to leverage the rules of the game and not necessarily playing it straight up. And I just think that if he shoots, he's so talented, Matt, that if he just shoots the basketball, they're probably going to win a lot of these games. And I think he's thinking too much.
I don't like this take at all. I just don't think you can be like, this is the greatest player that makes everybody better, and they rely on their Nuggets basketball and team offense and just being like, you need to shoot more. I can't get there.
And you've never been in that. I understand wanting to make the right decision, and the right decision is whatever generates the open shot.
Yes.
But I am always going to put the blame at the feet of the best player.
I think that's fine, but then you need to be talk about the because the problem really has been the defense. The defense.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm getting to that. Defensively, Joker, I think he amps it up in the fourth quarter in a lot of these games. And so that definitely helps. But a lot of the times in the fourth quarter, especially in the clutch, the Nuggets are so over leveraged because they're trying to help. And a lot of the times they are trying to account for some of his weaknesses in mobility and things like that. And it gives up open shots on the weak side.
I want to just real quickly hit this right here up for the chat. Maha Endo says most efficient scorer having 9 shots is good. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to do that. He asked,
he had 11 shots.
Is the most efficient scorer having 9 shots good? Okay. Jokic had 11. And he had 12 free throws.
Yeah.
Double-digit free throws. Do you think that Nikola Jokic didn't touch the ball tonight? Is that because I will tell you there were stretches where they were getting great offense when Joker wasn't touching it, because I actually commented on it in the start of the second and the fourth quarter. It's really great that they're not having to rely on Joker every single time because they were actually scoring pretty efficiently.
Yeah,
that's a really good thing here. So like it's just not a good evaluation of kind of like where things were. I would go probably less on Joker. The reality is like I would go like 40% Adelman. I would go 30% injuries, and I would go 30% luck. Because in a clutch time environment, you need 5 guys that know how to play together and can get stops. And they have not been able to find it unless they have Aaron and CB on the floor. They need both those guys together to get the stops that they are trying to get. And then the 30% of it is just like, I just don't think, I have a really hard time with this idea that so here's the thing. I think there's a clutch gene. I think it matters. I think that big players step up in big moments. I don't think it's random. Okay. But my problem is if we go back with where we're at now, we are going to be so influenced by this game, as opposed to if we go back and we analyze how they were in December and November, right? We're going to have an entirely different list of situations and problems that arise when we analyze those games.
But isn't it a problem if in all of those different situations they suck defensively?
Yes, it absolutely is a problem, right? Like this team used to be like they stiffen up and they figure it out.
They would be the top 3 defense in the clutch, like on a consistent basis. They'd find a way, they'd leverage some things. And you've talked about this before, that a lot of teams are just starting to figure out what the Nuggets are trying to do from a defensive basis. And so they've had to change things up, and they have to get better personnel at times, and they have to like be a little bit more aggressive in going for some steals and really trying to close out and do some of these things. But like, I think that they are playing catch a lot of the time when they are in the clutch, and they are not dictating the terms. And when they try to dictate the terms, they get too far out of position because they don't know how to do it.
There's a question of why are SGA and Anthony Edwards leading the season in clutch points? Nikola Jokic has Shea's at 42% usage rate. Jokic is at 37, and those don't account for assists. Like, I'm just telling you, man, like the problem is not that Joker doesn't get the ball enough or shoot. Yeah. And like, that's not the problem.
Murray gives him the ball and gets out of the way a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like,
their problem almost inherently is like, it's just the defensive side, and the defensive side compromises their offense. Like it's a two-way street here, and the turnovers are an issue too.
29th in clutch defense.
So maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they won't. But I don't think the jury is completely out, but it is something like they got to get better at. I do kind of look at it this way versus saying like, this is who they are. Guys, as much as I'm like, the season's running, and I'm going to tell you, like, again, time's coming, like time's up. It's time, right? And I'm going to talk about that, but they have time to work on it and fix it in the 2 months, guys, before the NBA playoffs begin. Coming up, I want to talk to Ryan about that. Plus, there were some bright spots tonight. Julian Strawther and Christian Brown were great tonight, and we're going to shine some light on the positive tonight when we come back on Locked On NBA. Nuggets. I've done too many podcasts the last 2 days. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stresses or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. Take the taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day. Appreciate you guys being with us. So there's talk about this. It can't be luck when you lose every day. But so here's the thing. They used to be really good at clutch, and now this year they aren't. What did Joker like leave his clutch gene in Serbia? Like, did he just like, is it like a zip drive that he, or like not zip drive? God,
Maybe they've been running hot. Maybe for 9 years,
right. For 9 years they ran hot, and it just time's up. Like, if you think it's a sustainable thing, then you got to explain to me like what the actual change is and why.
Yeah, like I don't have a great answer for you as to what they're doing differently. Like Cam Johnson is filling the same exact role that Michael Porter Jr. basically was, standing in the corner. That's what he was doing. Aaron Gordon hasn't been out there for a lot of the time. Christian Brown hasn't been out there for a lot of the time. And so maybe that is really hurting some stuff. They've had to get into some pretty different lineups and different situations, but I don't know. The fact is that they are losing these games, and it doesn't necessarily matter whether it's unlucky, lucky, or whatever. They are losing, and like this is what happens, and this is why you get into the pack, into the Western Conference. Denver has had several opportunities to separate themselves, and they have not done it.
By the way, Tim Hardaway Jr. makes an open three. That was a great look, and this is all fine. This is where the clutch stuff drives me nuts, where I'm just like, yeah, but like if Tim makes a great look, that he's going to hit 4.5 out of 10 times.
Can I be honest? I don't think it was a great decision by Joker. I know finding the open three is great. Like in theory, it's great. But I also think the way that he ran down the clock and getting into that position, I just think, again, Denver's being so passive in a lot of these ways. Like this is not aggressive basketball going downhill trying to go get a bucket. Like I just don't.
They got an wide open catch and shoot three. It's the exact same as the Peyton Watson three that you defended.
Yeah, I mean, I think that.
But this is the hard part, Ryan, is like when the process doesn't yield the results, you have to you can't be like, well, the process didn't work, so change it. You have to be like, no, the process was sound.
Can I just be honest and say that I want Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray to shoot the basketball?
No, why? This
is that wrong?
Yes, it is.
Like how have they won so many of these games in the clutch? Why are they so good? It's because they go to the two-man game so much.
But their teams are scouting it. You want a post-up, turnaround, fadeaway jump shot.
It's not really a fadeaway. It's like a 10-footer. It's a 10-foot turnaround that he has hit on. Like he has hit throughout his entire career, Matt.
But like, what's his percentage? What's his percentage on him?
He's probably 50%.
I would bet it's way lower than that. No one shoots that well on post-up, turnaround, fadeaways.
Joker does.
Okay.
He does.
Anyway,
straight up.
we can just disagree on this. Go find the numbers. Go look at you got the access to the numbers. Go look them up. I want to know what they are, because I'll guarantee you can't be like, you know what make Joker special? Well, he always makes the right play, and he finds the open teammate, and they create great looks, and they play team basketball.
And you know what?
You missed one, so you should just chuck up shots for the rest of time.
It's not chucking up shots. He took 11 shots, and I do think that he was very much in passing mode for the vast majority of this game, and he was at his, like, the running hook that he had against Jared Allen looked pretty easy. He made it look real simple, Matt. And I just think that simplifying your process and taking advantage of a situation when, like, it was a 9-footer, a 10-footer. Like, I don't think it was that crazy.
Because you're kind of on this is like, it's about swinging out with your two best players.
Yeah.
What makes this Nuggets team better than all those teams that do this nonsense that I watch night in and night out for 28 other teams in the association, is that they actually play team basketball and they trust each other. It's a better approach. It's how the Spurs have won. It's how the great teams in sports history have won. It's why Steve Kerr made a name for himself with the Bulls. It's trusting other players. That's why they're better. It's not taking the turnaround, fade away, post up, jump shot every single time. If you got to go to it, fine. But if you got to also estimate, if he's like, I can't, like, Jarrett's defending me. Like, I don't have this. Right? Like, doesn't the defender matter here? Or are you just like, you're Joker, you just make it?
I know it's actually the way that Allen was positioned on the play. It's the way that he was trying to cut off the middle. And I just think that the right read, if you're trying to score, is to turn the other direction. It just is. Like, we've seen this happen a lot. And like, Garrett was in the right position trying to cut off the middle, and it forced a turnover out of Joker.
We can disagree. People can disagree.
Yeah.
CB, looked alive.
It was really good. It had to get into the rhythm. I remember saying at the very first quarter, first couple of possessions, I was thankful, so thankful that he finally started just taking the threes. Just take them. There's no need to record scratch. There's the entire point of getting you back into rhythm and getting you back into form is so you can take those shots. It's so it's just the responsibility that he's going to have. And so I'm glad that he did it. But more than that, he was doing a lot of great things, cutting to the rim, setting screens and diving, running in transition, doing all the hustle things that you want Christian Braun to do. He was hard on himself post-game in terms of his defense on Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. I honestly thought he was just fine in that regard, and he's probably holding himself to a high standard.
I mean, Mitchell is he is
monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah. He was incredibly fun to watch tonight, except when he would stop on the dime, on the catching off of the dribble or off of the screen, and then rise when somebody's trying to defend them.
I do not understand why you're upset about this, because it's he's just trying to that's a perfectly normal 3-point attempt for him.
I think he learned that from Dame.
Okay. Mitchell 11 of 23 tonight, 32 points, 10 assists.
Insane.
Harden 22 points, 7 to 16. Now Harden did all of his stuff. Harden did the Harden things tonight.
But he also was great in the fourth quarter when they needed
and
him.
And to your point, two best players made the shots, right? James Harden step back fadeaway.
But they also kicked out the Jalen Tyson when it was necessary. So sometimes your guys just make shots and sometimes they don't. And it is what it is. I'm not going to belabor the point, but again, Christian was really good.
So part of my thing is just look, if that, because Himi has actually said this in the chat, you guys are acting like this was Bruce Brown taking the three. It does matter. It does matter who the shooter is. You guys, everyone's loved how great of a shooter Tim's been all year.
He's been great.
And you've gotten a knockdown high percentage shooter with an open look, and he hits that, and that's it. So we're gonna wrap this for the podcast. If you want to catch the rest of this episode, go to youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets, and you can catch the rest of it. Not trying to take away from our podcast listeners who we love. We are required to keep these episodes under a certain amount of time, and we can go longer on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets if you want the full episode. So I want to talk about Julian Strother.
Yeah.
Man, I would have sold my property on Strawther Island a couple months ago, but nobody wanted it. And now I just woke up one day and found a crypto wallet, and I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. I have this real estate that was worthless 2 months ago.
Wonder what this is worth. Holy crap.
Oh, wow. 8 of 16 for Straw, 20 points, 2 of 6 from 3, hit the 2 corner threes, which are huge. Rebound. He continues to just be a monster at coming in and making those plays.
Yeah.
And I asked him about post game, and he was kind of talking about how Joker and Val take up so much attention, and guys are just swarming them to try and box them out. He was like, I've got to be aggressive and get in there. And he was just talking about himself, because that's his approach and mentality, because that's what I asked him. But I also want to be maybe some of the other guards could do that too. Because I just think his rebounding is so huge for this team. He just comes up with contested, really need that possession rebounds over and over.
On both ends of the floor too. There was some offensive, there was some defensive. He has really impressed me and turned around a lot of what I thought about him. I didn't know that he had this toughness. I wasn't sure about him, and kind of the archetype of player that he reminds me of is the gunner off of the bench that just loves to shoot and loves to make the flashy play and things like that. But that's not just who Julian Strawther is. He's actually been extremely tough and physical, and drives to the rim and gets hacked a lot of the time, and gets bodied down to the floor. And sometimes he gets to take some free throws for that for a reason. Was his efficiency perfect tonight? No. Was the defense perfect tonight? No. But the production that he put out there was so big, and the Nuggets trust him, man. I think that's one of the things that I've been pretty surprised by. 11 points in the first 5 minutes of this game. They went to him over and over again, and he has earned that right, and just has been really, really special, trying to just generate good offense for this team.
I understand why he didn't close. I think he should have closed.
I agree with you.
I totally get the decision not to. It's hindsight, right? If Tim Hardaway makes that three, or Nikola Jokic shoots a turnaround fadeaway jump shot and makes it. Either way, and you win this game, and it's like, oh, what a great decision by Adelman to close with Tim.
Right.
But like I just think that Julian had played well enough, and the size I actually think is really like I mentioned. I just would rather I really don't know why they did this last game too. I do not know why Bruce is hanging out in the dunker. It's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. I have no idea what the scheme is here with Bruce in the dunker.
I just don't know how they use like the way that they have used Bruce. I just don't understand what the point.
Well, look, he had a much better stretch of games here the last 2 weeks. He's had a bunch of games where he's been like really good.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that specific element. I don't understand that. That's the one thing I just don't really get. Time's up for the Nuggets. This is the part where I have to pivot because I have the whole season I have been trying to be the voice of calm reason, and I will continue to be the voice of calm reason. The team is still a wagon, fully healthy. I think this team can win a championship. I think even though that they failed to meet 40 wins before 20 losses tonight because they got their 20th loss, that this is an exceptional situation because of the injury situation that they went through. They faced their toughest month, schedule density wise, without 4 starters and their best player. It's an exceptional situation.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that there weren't exceptional situations before in the history of the NBA with teams that were as good as this and had the same kind of problems. And that's part of why they didn't win. But I'm not willing to close the door on the Nuggets. I'm just not. Time's up. They cannot afford to lose many more home games. They have lost all the home games that they can afford to lose. This is it. Okay. They got to win Wednesday versus Memphis, go into the break, get everybody healthy. They'll have, let's see, Aaron will be back. When do you think Aaron's going to be back?
No, Aaron's coming back early to mid-March.
Early to mid-March.
Same thing with Peyton. So they're not going to have those guys back. It's
I know. But the schedule is, again, this is the part where I have to lean on my experience. You would rather play less frequently with more time in between games and less travel against tougher opponents than against absolute dog teams. Even in this tank off, the Utah Jazz beat the Miami Heat last night. You would rather face them with as much rest and low travel as possible. And that's the schedule for the Nuggets the rest of the way. This stretch coming up, there are tough games. This was brutal. Thunder, Pistons, Knicks back-to-back, Bulls, Cavaliers.
Yeah.
But that's it. This is the last pass I can give them. Every home loss from here on out is a bad loss. I don't care about the context. And I'm going to say that regardless of who's injured or who's not. This is it. You're out of it. You had a few too many in the early part of the season because you were getting adjusted. You washed that away by being excellent on the road. You did do that. We and I were talking about this because you're like, well, I don't think they can keep winning on the road like this. That's really irrelevant. The road wins wash out the unlikely road wins, wash out the unlikely home losses. You are still top 4 in the West. You still have an opportunity to get there. They have to put the gas down. I know they're tired. I know they're worn out. I know they put miles down. This is it. I'm the one that's being like, well, we'll see how they kind of do. And I've been like, look, they're going to be fine. Let's see it play out. Nope. This is it. It's time to go. They got to go. They got to rattle off a stretch of 8 and 9. They got to rattle off a stretch of 12 and 15. They got to rattle off a stretch where they win 14 out of 20. They got to rattle off a stretch of games where they are just absolutely tremendous, or else they are going to put themselves in a position where no matter how good they are when the playoffs begin, the road will be too difficult for them to be able to make the finals. They can make a run, but you can't make the finals and you can't win it.
They are They're in an interesting position right now because they have one more game before the All-Star break that they, like, in theory should win, but like that's a swing factor that if they lose that one, then that's really bad. Like going into the All-Star break, it's not a good sign if you're dropping 2 games at home after going on a 3-game road trip. I think that's like you've talked about before in terms of what the clutch, like breaking down the clutch blame pie. Injuries have played a massive factor. There's no doubt about it. Spencer Jones will be back. In theory, he should have a contract at that point. Maybe they'll even have a buyout guy at that point, and somebody could really help them. There is a possibility that they could have 13, 14, 15 guys that are available and ready to go. And once you get everybody kind of in the same room on the same page, like, and even before that, to be honest, like, there's just a level of seriousness that you have to be able to lock in and execute, because the execution has been lacking over the course of these last 10 to 15 games or so. They have struggled in a lot of it because they have been down so many guys. But if you actually do get the rest and the recovery and the opportunity to be at home on a lot of these opportunities, then there should be no reason why you can't go forward and can't continue to take off. Like, this team has the talent. There's no question about it. But do they have the execution? Can they actually get back to that level defensively, Matt, that you think that they can get to? I don't know. Like, I think that there's a level of belief from that group that they can, but they have to prove it first before any of us say anything about it.
10-6 without Joker, 2-4 with him. Turns out,
who could have foreseen, by the way? Who could have predicted this?
Yeah, well, they won the first one, so it's not, I looked bad. I looked wrong early. 3-game road trip out of the break. Clippers, Portland, Warriors. That's got to be win.
Yeah, 100%. You have to win all 3 of those games.
Boston at home. Hey, if you had won this one, I'd be like, yeah, you can probably survive. Nope, you got it. I'm sorry, you got to find a way to sweep the season series versus Boston. At OKC, that one I'll give you. Okay.
Don't have to win that one.
Don't have to win that one. Home versus Minnesota. You've already won the season series, but you got to do it again now. At Utah, they won versus the Heat tonight, but that should be a win. Home versus the Lakers, got to get revenge. You got to win that one. Home versus the Knicks, I do not have a lot of confidence because of the matchup in that one, but they need to find a way to win that one. At OKC, you need to take one of the 2 versus OKC just to be able to tell yourself you can beat them.
Yeah, and you got to do it on the road. Like, you can't just wait until game 81 of the season when the Thunder are going to rest 7 of their top 8 guys.
Home versus Houston, need it for the tiebreaker. Got to win that one. Like, this is it. It sucks. It sucks that they did not get to have a fully healthy complement burst through January as tough as it was and then coast out the rest of the way. But that is not what the basketball gods intended. They are exhausted. They are worn out. They are banged up. The road gets harder. We'll see if they can meet it. If they meet this challenge, think of how great it will be.
Yeah.
If they rise up and they become the team that they were to start the season and everyone goes, oh yeah, that's right, the Nuggets are a wagon. How great that's going to feel going into the playoffs. It's going to be hard. This team has the best player in the world. It has Jamal. It has another all-star. They have young guys who have made leaps. They have good coaching, despite this tonight. They have shooters. They have finishers. They have what it takes. They're just going to have to find a way to get through it.
We'll see if they can. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing if they can meet the challenge. But like this is the thing, Matt. If you are serious about winning a title, then this is where it has to really take off. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can do it.
They're going to turn around and lose to the Grizzlies on Wednesday, aren't they?
I mean, all right, we'll criticize them if they do.
That's going to do it for Locked On Nuggets. Appreciate you guys being with us. Grateful for all of you for being part of our community. Sign up to be an everydayer at lockedonnuggets.supercast.com for more content. We'll be back with you. Swipey will probably do a show tomorrow. We'll have no jinx for you tomorrow night. Then we'll be with you post-game after the Grizzlies game on Wednesday before the Nuggets head off onto the All-Star break. We'll have a recap for you of Jamal Murray's All-Star three-point performance on Saturday, as well as a recap of one of us. We're gonna like Rochambeau for who has to watch the All-Star game to figure out who has to watch it. But one of us will have a recap for you on that. Swipa is going to be in Los Angeles providing content throughout the week. So make sure to follow Swipa on Twitter at SwipaCam. We'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for joining us on Locked On Nuggets.
turnaround fadeaways are good shots.
What happened to you?